Hi and welcome back. In this section we will take a look at Vue files and how to use them. So there are a couple of things we will learn in this section. First, we will learn how Vue uses Webpack. Next, we will learn about the features that come with Vue-loader. After this, we will learn about hot reloading and how it will impact our development process, followed by learning how to use preprocessors for HTML, JavaScript and CSS. Last but not least, we will also learn how to handle assets. So we start by learning how to pack a component in a Vue file using Webpack. What will we cover in this video? First, we will learn how to use loaders. Next, we will learn how to use and configure Vue-loader. After this, we will learn what hot reloading is and how it affects our development process. Last but not least, we will also learn how to reference assets. So I've created a simple application with the Vue logo on top and below that a card with a counter inside. Now let's open the project in your editor of choice. Alright, so a little bit of theory in this video. We will dive deeper into Webpack and Vue-loader. So Webpack is a build tool. It will grab the different source files and compile everything and export it. With Webpack, we can also enable a development server to make developing web applications a breeze. The development server includes features like hot reloading and live reloading. So the build directory is the Webpack configuration, and well, as you can see, it consists of a lot of files and it's a lot to go through for now. Well, luckily we don't ever have to touch this directory. So I'm only going to show you the webpack.base.conf.js file right here. And this is the base configuration for Webpack. We find the entry point at the top, and below that you'll find the output, path, file name, etc. And after this you'll find the alias, the add alias that we've been using so far, and it will simply reference the source directory. Below this you'll find the module and the rules that we are applying, and for each custom file extension you want to use with Webpack, you need to install a loader as well. And here you find that for the files with a Vue extension, we are using the Vue-loader. For the files with the JavaScript extension, we're using the Babel-loader, and this allows us to use the ECMAScript 6 syntax. For the assets, so for the images, the media files, and for fonts, we are using a URL loader, and when the file is 10,000 bytes or less, the asset will be displayed in line. And if the file is larger than 10,000 bytes, the file loader is applied. So the important part is the Vue-loader, and this allows us to create separate Vue files which will be separated Webpack and transformed into JavaScript files. So we are applying a options property which consists of the configuration of Vue-loader, and this can be found right here at Vue-loader.conf.js. Yeah, you can specify configurations for Vue-loader, so I'm not going to touch this because I don't want to change anything. So when you build the application, let's try this right now, run npm run build, you'll find that all the files are processed and are transformed into JavaScript and CSS files, or assets if they are larger than 1000 bytes. And by running npm run build, we are creating a production ready version of our application. So you will notice that there is a new directory called dist. And let's go into this directory, and you will find a minified HTML file which will serve as the entry point of our application. Next we've got a static directory, and this directory holds the CSS and JavaScript. Now let's view the JavaScript directory, and we find a app.js file, and this is basically our application. As you can see, it's minified but holds all the information about our application. When you scroll a bit down you'll find the custom cards, and a little bit above here you'll find the cards right here. So yeah, this is a ugly version of our application. When you are serving the application, you want to make sure that the requests are as small as possible. Next we got the manifest.js file, which I won't go over into detail. Next we got the manifest.js file, which I won't go over into detail. And the next file is the vendor.js file. And this file holds all the plugins that we are using in our application. So at the top you will notice that we are referencing Vue right here. And the code, yeah, this is basically Vue that we are using in our application. In the CSS directory you will find the app.css file, and this is the styling that's applied to our application. So we are basically only using Bootstrap, so this file consists, well, it's a minified version of Bootstrap, as you can see. Alright, now let's take a closer look at Vue-loader. And luckily it has its own documentation that we can consult. Let's go to Vue-loader.vue.js.org/em for the English version. And one of the features of Vue that I want to take a look at is hot reloading. Gonna close everything and let's open the app.vue file right here. Okay. And as you can see, the counter is still working. Now change the code. So I'm gonna change my card to my card 2. Save it. And you'll see that the page has been updated. It will show my card 2. But the counter is also working. So it hasn't been reset or anything. So yeah. And this is basically hot reloading. The state of the application will stay the same, and it will only update the parts that won't affect the state. Vue-loader knows what parts of the page should be updated and what parts of the page should be left alone. You'll notice that hot reloading will make developing Vue applications a breeze. Another thing I want to talk about is how to include assets on your page. So I've shown an image on the top of the page, and as you can see, I'm referencing the image directly. So when we go to the source directory, here's the app.vue file, we go to the assets directory, and here is the logo that I am referencing. So I'm passing a string to the source property. But it's also possible to require the file. So let's change the code to this. Save it, and you will see that the image is still working. So let's say you are creating a custom component inside a tree of directories. And to access your asset directory, you don't want to use relative directories, but an absolute path. So for instance, when you are inside the components directory, you've got another directory, etc, etc. Yeah, you need to cd out from a lot of directories, and that could be a pain sometimes. So in those cases, it's easier to reference the absolute path, and by using the @ symbol, yeah, you can reference it directly. And that's it. So now that we've learned how Webpack in combination with Vue-loader is working,